Previo.fm.
First question. What do you think about the rock progressive? And what's the meaning in your life? What's the importance in your life of the rock progressive?
Well, the strange thing is, I didn't grow up listening to progressive rock music. I grew up listening to jazz music. I didn't know much about progressive rock music until about 1983. I joined a band called Renaissance, and that was it. Then, until I joined Porcupine Tree, I didn't know anything really about progressive rock. And a very strange thing is when I joined King Crimson, I didn't know any King Crimson song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Robert Fripp came to my house. He said, "These are the songs I want you to learn." And I said, "Robert, I don't know these songs. I don't have any of your albums." And he said, "Oh, that's fantastic. I like that because I want you to be fresh and new. Don't worry about what's played before. I want the future. I want new things. Play the song like it's a new song."
Okay.
And sometimes people ask me, "Please tell me your favorite top 10 progressive albums." I don't know 10 progressive albums.
Okay. And now that you play with King Crimson, and now about the story of this band, what does it mean in your life, like musician, to play with King Crimson and Porcupine Tree?
Well, yeah, I guess I've become known as a progressive drummer. So it's been a big part of my life for the last 17 years. But I don't really follow genre. A genre is a great way for someone to ignore your life's work. When people who don't know the genre, you tell them, "Oh, I play progressive," like I get in a taxi and the guy says, "Hey, you're a musician?" Yeah. "What do you play?" "Oh, I play the drums. I play progressive rock." And the guy goes, "What's that?" "What you mean, like Genesis and Yes and Pink Floyd?" There's always an association to the past. And I don't think about the past, I'm thinking about the future.
And now that you talk about Robert Fripp, what's the lessons that he teach you in the stage and in the stage?
I think the most fascinating thing about Robert, for me, is that he's very good at having a big idea. When you have a very good big idea, you can always fill in the details. The details are easy. But if you start with the details and hope that they make a good idea, they usually don't. So he had a vision. He called me and he said, "I've had a vision. I can see the stage. There are 3 drummers at the front. The other musicians on a riser at the back, and we play with 3 drummers." He imagined the whole picture of this band. Okay, then you just need to find the musicians and make it happen. But he had a very good big idea, and I think that was true with all the versions of the band, going back to the 80s, going back to the 70s, going back to the original band in 1969. It was always with a really good idea at the top, and the details are easy after that. So that's the thing I've learned from Robert.
When you write the book, Gavin Harrison, The Reading Illusion, what was the lesson, or maybe the lesson that you made to transmit with the readers?
Well, I wrote 2 books. One's called Rhythmic Illusions, one's called Rhythmic Perspectives. Rhythmic Illusions I started to write about 1988, and I finished it in about 1995. It was just about, it's a method of creating an illusion with the drums to make the listener believe something that isn't true. It's a very hard thing to explain unless you are a drummer, but an illusion works because you understand the perception of the person who's witnessing it. So, if I tell you a story, right, there's a doctor. The doctor goes with some friends to a bar. The doctor drinks whiskey, really likes smoking a cigar. They go to a club. In your mind, you already think this doctor is a man. I didn't say he was a man, right? But I know that you are expecting it's a man because most doctors are men. Women don't drink whiskey and smoke cigars, right? Many. So you play with the perception of the audience, right? And you can do this with rhythm because people expect certain things of rhythm because they've heard it a million times. So when you change something about the rhythm, you can make a little illusion. And it can be a very interesting, it's hard to talk about without being very technical, but you can make something very interesting inside the music, in progressive music. Some interesting methods to make the music more interesting. I used it a lot with Porcupine Tree. I've used it a lot in King Crimson and Pineapple Thief. It's nothing to do with technique or speed or having fast hands. It's really just a mental trick, like an illusionist, that you can play with the audience.
That's interesting. Now, these two books are for drummers only, or for musicians, or
well,
for?
It's written for drummers, but a lot of musicians have written to me and said, "I'm a bass player, I'm a keyboard player. I have used your methods." You can make, the audience feel the beat, but you can make them feel a different beat. The audience feel the tempo, but you can make them feel a different tempo just as an illusion. You can do it for 5 seconds, or you can do it for 20 seconds, or you can do it for a little bit just to make the audience a little, ooh, what was that?
I hope that you do that in the Pineapple Thief show.
I do. But it's nice to use it as a songwriting tool. Maybe there's a moment in the song where you need something a little bit strange or different. There's a very good example of it in a Porcupine Tree song called What Happens Now. If you know that song, the second half of the song is a big rhythmic illusion.
And now talking about the Pineapple Thief show in December, are you planning something special for the fans, Mexican fans?
Well, yeah, we're coming to Mexico. That's the first special thing. The live show of Pineapple Thief is really good fun. The other guys in the band are so nice. My girlfriend, when she comes to the show, she said, you can really feel such a nice atmosphere with these guys, the way they connect with the audience. It's very interactive kind of show. Not like King Crimson show and not like Porcupine Tree show. We will play lots of songs from Dissolution and Your Wilderness, the previous record, plus some rearrangements of some older songs for anyone who knows the back catalogue, because they've actually got, I think, 13 albums.
2002, I think. The Pineapple Thief begins in 2002.
Yeah, or even before that. But there's a lot of old songs. Some of the old songs we do with a new arrangement. It's really nice show.
And do you know the venue that the Pineapple Thief will play in December? It's called Lunario.
Lunario.
You will play in that venue?
Yes, December the 4th we'll play in Lunario. I don't...
No, before. If you play before in Lunario, I think no, right?
No.
No.
We're playing the night before, we're playing in Guadalajara.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, I've never... I think 2 times I came here with Porcupine Tree, we played at the Metropolitan. Right.
Yeah. So it's a very good spot to play, and sounds really, really good. So.
Oh, good, yeah. I've heard good things about this venue.
So you will play with a lot of good musicians, a lot of bands, but there's in your mind another collaboration, another musician that you want to play?
Yeah, I don't think about that. I mean, I'm always delighted when people ask me to play with them and I like their music. I don't lie in bed at night. I'm not waiting for, Stevie Wonder to ring me up. I don't know. It would have been nice to play with Frank Zappa. I don't know. I don't really think like that. I'm happy when people ask me to play, but I'm not waiting for, an artist to call me. Maybe Taylor Swift.
FM